GM's Chevy Bolt EV sales started significantly down in 2018 on a month-to-month basis, but they remained slightly up over the same period last year. It isn't exactly surprising considering the Chevy Bolt EV achieved a new delivery record in December and ended its first full year of production at over 23,000 units in the US. The last month of the year is generally good for electric vehicles in the US since buyers are trying to take delivery in order to take advantage of the federal tax credit during the current financial year. Automakers generally try to optimize deliveries for that reason. It certainly seemed to have an impact on Chevy Bolt EV sales since GM delivered 3,227 units in December. Today, the American automaker released its January 2018 results and deliveries plunged to 1,177 units. It's a steep fall, but it's still a 1.3% increase over Bolt EV sales in January 2017. In comparison, GM's Chevy Volt has seen a 55% drop in sales during the same period.
An anonymous source at the Japanese automaker told Automotive News this week that the Passport is returning for the 2019 model year, joining the ranks of Honda's HR-V, CR-V and Pilot crossovers as a Goldilocks SUV for those who want ample cargo space, but don't need a third row of seats. While Honda spokespeople have commented saying the automaker doesn't comment on future products, rumors of the Passport's revival have circulated for over a year. Car and Driver conducted an investigation of its own into the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office database to find Honda had in fact applied for a trademark for the term Passport back in 2016, and specifically refers to Honda's original Passport trademark application back in 1993. Expected to compete with the Ford Edge, Hyundai Santa Fe Sport and Nissan Murano, the Honda Passport will be 6 inches shorter than the Pilot, while being based on the same platform. Those seeking to expand to a 4 crossover portfolio include Mazda, which announced late last year that it plans to bring back the CX-7 crossover to slot between the slightly too small CX-5 and slightly too big CX-9. Chevrolet also announced that it would sell a new 2-row, mid-size crossover under the Blazer nameplate, according to Automotive News. The revived Passport is expected to make its official debut in November at the Los Angeles Auto Show after it is first unveiled at a private dealer meeting that same month before heading to dealership showrooms in early 2019. Originally sold as a rebadged Isuzu Rodeo, the OG Passport was Honda's first ever SUV, sold between 1993 and 2002 as a 2-row, V6, rugged SUV. Whether the new Passport lives up to the off-road ready reputation of its ancestor remains to be seen. However, with the surge in popularity of Jeeps and Land Rovers, an abundant market certainly exists for more rugged offerings.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has confirmed on Twitter that a new feature included in the Model 3 software will be added to the Model S and Model X. An upcoming software update will come with automatic adjustment of the sound system based on wind and road noise. One extremely pleasant feature of an electric car is how quiet it is inside the car's cabin because the electric motor is almost silent. However, with the quieter cabin, noises from the roads, wind and the mechanical parts of the car can be heard in certain driving conditions. This is inevitable as these sounds aren't being drowned out by the rumble of the engine. The new update could therefore help to cancel out any harsh road noise. It is already a feature on the new Model 3 but will be added to Model S and Model X in a software update. The request was made by one Tesla driver on Twitter who said it sure would be nice if my Tesla S would adjust the media sound in relation to the wind and road noise. Mr. Musk's reply was simply coming soon. With it already being a feature of the new Model 3 software, it shouldn't be too difficult to implement into the flagship cars, but no specific time frame has been set. Regularly suggestions from Tesla drivers are considered and added to improve the car through software updates. One recent example of this was the automatic sensing wipers for Autopilot 2.0 cars.
This year's North American International Auto Show was all about pickup trucks. With reveals like the new Chevrolet Silverado and Ram 1500, the event in Detroit demonstrated just how influential the full-size truck segment has grown in the past few years. However, little was revealed surrounding GM's pair of mid-size pickups, the Chevrolet Colorado and the GMC Canyon. Despite the lack of coverage for the Canyon and Colorado, reports suggest that they are both due for a refresh for the 2019 model year. The current iterations of the Canyon and the Colorado have been around now for 4 model years. Therefore, a refresh for both models doesn't seem all that surprising. Another reason that GM might want to refresh both the Canyon and the Colorado is the return of the Ford Ranger. The 2019 Ford Ranger is Ford's first mid-size truck in quite some time, reintroducing some competition to the segment. Although the Canyon's refresh for 2019 has been reported by multiple outlets, the details of this refresh remain a mystery. The most likely alterations include design tweaks to the Canyon's exterior and interior. The last major changes for the Canyon included the introduction of the model's Denali trim and the addition of a 2.8-liter Duramax turbo diesel engine. The Colorado also received this engine. While the Canyon's refresh has been all but officially confirmed, little has been said about a refresh for its Colorado cousin. Still, since the Canyon and Colorado are so similar, a refresh for one most likely means a refresh for the other. In a similar vein, GM revealed the 2019 Chevrolet Silverado during the North American International Auto Show without revealing its 2019 Sierra counterpart. The Sierra's official reveal has been saved for a later date. Chances are this is to help distinguish the GMC brand more from Chevrolet and GM's other brands. If both the Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon are indeed set for a 2019 refresh, then those redesigns come just in time to face off against Ford's revived Ranger.
The Honda Passport nameplate will return on a new two-row crossover that will slot between a CR-V and Pilot in the automaker's lineup. According to Automotive News, the new Passport will be shown to Honda dealers during a special presentation in November of this year before it goes on sale in early 2019. It's also expected to show up at the 2018 Los Angeles Auto Show that month for a public debut. Honda declined to comment on the new midsize crossover when asked by AN, but stopped short of denying such a product is in the pipeline. A Honda spokesman told the publication, "We have not confirmed any details related to this product, so any specifics would be quite speculative at this point." Honda first filed a patent application for the Passport name with the United States Patent and Trademark Office last spring. It also filed a design patent application in November for a mid-size crossover that appeared nearly identical to the Honda UR-V for China. In China, the UR-V serves as a mid-size, two-row crossover that slots above the CR-V in Honda's product portfolio. It therefore seems likely that the Passport rumored for North America is simply a UR-V revised to meet North America's safety and emissions regulations. The North American spec UR-V, or Passport, will make its debut later this year.
If you think consumer demand for the Model 3 is strong, think what it will be for the Model Y, the sort of affordable compact crossover. According to E.W. Niedermeyer of the Daily Kanban, Tesla has begun soliciting quotes from suppliers who might be interested in providing parts for the Model Y. They tell Niedermeyer that the company is telling them the start of production is currently scheduled for March of 2020. Previously, Musk indicated Tesla would start building the Model Y in 2019. What will the Model Y look like? Elon started out by saying it would be built on an entirely new chassis. Then during an earnings call last July, he walked it back. He said, "I think in a prior call, we publicly had said that Model Y, or our compact SUV, it's called Model Y, it may or may not be, would be a totally new architecture. Upon the counsel of my executive team, thanks, guys, who reeled me back from the cliffs of insanity, much appreciated, the Model Y will in fact be using a substantial carryover from Model 3 in order to bring it to market faster. Crossover SUVs are the sweet spot to the new car market globally, a fact Elon is well aware of. He says, people prefer an SUV. And in fact, the SUV market is larger. It's the biggest single product I believe in the world. Perhaps the question on most people's mind when thinking about the Model Y is, will it have falcon wing doors? Elon once tweeted that either the Model 3 or Model Y would have them, but he actually deleted the tweet not long after. While they certainly make a statement and are responsible for lots of favorable publicity, they also delayed the start of production for the Model X by a year or so. And they continue to be a source of irritation for many owners, especially if they pop open while driving. Others are supremely happy with their special doors. Perhaps those same engineers who cautioned Elon about using a completely new chassis will also talk him out of doing some crazy thing with the Model Y doors. The falcon wing doors may be an asset on the low-volume Model X but could arguably be a hindrance on the A car intended for large-volume production like the Model Y. One person who seems to be fed up with Elon's overpromise and under-deliver management style is Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple. The great and powerful Woz told people at the Nordic Business Conference in Stockholm last week that he once believed in Musk's promises, particularly in regard to when fully autonomous technology would be available on Tesla cars, but does not anymore. Wozniak said, then added, "I believe that stuff, what he says. Can you really believe in him? Is he just a good salesman, like Jobs, and may not be there in the end?" He also slammed Tesla for rolling out self-driving tech that is in beta mode, which makes customers part of the validation process. He called it kind of a cheap way out of it, and suggested rivals like Audi and BMW were actually leading the autonomous driving field, especially in the US. He says he and his wife prefer to drive their Chevy Bolt most of the time, reserving their Tesla for longer trips so they can take advantage of the supercharger network. There are many unanswered questions about the Model Y. Will it be built in Fremont or at a new factory? Will it have falcon wing doors or some other form of gee-whiz-ry meant to garner headlines? Will production begin in 2019? 2020? 2021? No one, other than Elon, has a clear idea, and even Elon doesn't know for sure. One thing we can count on is a splashy introduction party like the one for the Model 3 sometime later this year or early next year. Musk is good at those. He is less successful at matching the hype he creates with targeted timelines. So far, that hasn't hurt sales of Tesla products in the slightest. But competitors are waiting in the wings and Tesla won't have the stage all to itself too much longer. The legacy automakers have one advantage Tesla does not. They know how to crank out millions of vehicles a year that are finished to a very high standard. Tesla has yet to prove it can do the same.